Carrie was sitting in a downtown studio having her picture taken for a magazine. The makeup artist was applying liquid foundation to her face with a paintbrush. "You can take your shirt off behind the chair," the photographer said. The photographer was saying, "We want you naked. You don't mind being naked. You've done it before," in a European accent of indeterminate origin. "Can I wear my underwear?" Carrie asked. "Can we have some music?" the makeup artist asked. "Well, do you mind being naked?" The absolute gall of this. Well, I'm back. Bunny's fine, I'm fine. Everyone's alive. We'll count that as a win. It did occur to me that visually, my background might be a bit plain compared to last time's recording environment, so I took a leaf out of Carrie's book and printed out this capital A that I can proudly display on my wall. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. 2 weeks ago, Carrie had her picture taken.
2 weeks ago, I had my picture taken.
Oh, she also said that. Oh, look at her go. She's having an absolute blast. I'm glad it's happening for the one of us. It turns out this is the picture that appears on the bus in the opening credits. The passengers of this bus might be transient, but this picture is here forever. I'm also pretty sure this is the origin of the picture on the cover of this version of the book. Look at her go, she's having a blast. That's the face of someone having fun. Carrie says she has misgivings, but is bribed by getting to keep the dress. Oh, wait, the plot's starting now. That was the Carrie update for this week. I'm sure we're all on tenterhooks. After a brief shaming from Carrie for not having lives of their own, the gang convene in the kitchen, the coziest room in the house, to actively celebrate two grown adults coordinating a meeting together. The dress that she got to keep is worth remarking on, but YouTube would probably have feelings about that. The gang certainly do. I think Charlotte says it best.
Just say it. It's the naked dress. I mean, you're obviously gonna have sex with him tonight.
Come on, it's our first date.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, I just think Carrie's denial makes her a liar. And a coward. What is Miranda doing with that sweater? It looks like one of her father's friends is going to get her out of some legal trouble. After almost giving each other stitches with a too enthusiastic toast,
Wait a second!
Charlotte recovers her sense of normalcy by being a wet blanket. This takes the form of her belief that one should wait 5 dates before sleeping with a serious partner. Please use the ice bucket. Apparently, the amount of time one waits before having sex with someone is proportional to one's age. I don't believe this for several reasons, but let's hear them out. Samantha quickly earns the coveted sanest take trophy by pointing out that someone can dump you regardless of the amount of sexual contact they have or haven't had with you. I could get used to this. This is pretty reasonable. A lucid Samantha? I'm promising myself I won't get attached. Use the ice bucket.
Something to be said for restraint.
When did you become such a Victorian?
That's right, Samantha. Everyone who disagrees with you is a Victorian. Welcome back. I blame myself for getting my hopes up, you know? Did you know in Victorian times, gastronomic appetites were associated with sexual appetite?
But isn't delayed gratification the definition of maturity?
Another unforced opinion to be held against. Carrie, I'm disappointed. You should know better. Mr. Big is waiting downstairs, and after a slightly awkward pause, there's a slightly awkward exchange.
Interesting dress.
Meaning?
Interesting dress.
Interesting is his choice of word, which I disagree with for several reasons, but let's hear him out. Buckle in, buddy, you don't get used to it. Hold on, this is supposed to be sexual tension? I thought this was two adults who have nothing in common and nothing to talk about realising that. Maybe it's just first date nerves. Shows what I know because they immediately sleep together.
I can't be hemmed in by rules. I go with my emotions.
There's no need to sound so defensive, Carrie. At least Miranda agrees with you verbatim. Samantha probably doesn't care. And I think from now on we should probably just actively ignore whatever Charlotte's on about.
Wait a second!
Everyone who disagrees with us is a Victorian. They inexplicably lounge on what logistically has to be Mr. Big's hardwood floors, with their feet on the nightstand for whatever reason. It may not be naturalistic, no, but we must admit the majesty of this shot.
I mean, some of the greatest romances of all time began with sex on the first date.
Yeah?
Are you sure you don't want to use the bed?
I will not be the first one to speak.
I mean, I think this is the most awkward thing since last episode, but what do I know? It's certainly possible that I've been dating wrong, and using nightstands wrong, and beds wrong, and hardwood floors wrong, and watches wrong, ice buckets wrong. Maybe all these objects aren't there to be useful, they're just there to be looked at. You could say the same thing about the people. Mr. Big shows us how diegetically uncomfortable he is by elegantly pivoting the conversation to Szechuan. In a move no one predicted, he even invites Carrie. Carrie consoles herself by exaggerating their mutual interests of sex and Chinese food in an effort to escape how seemingly redundant this getting-to-know-you phase has become. Carrie's pal Mike and his date are also at Oriental Night. That sounds like fun. Carrie, go over there and interrupt.
What are you doing here?
Given how we know Carrie feels about third wheels, the evening is on the precipice of becoming interesting. Mike's date is left unintroduced for a moment too long, which, if my sense of normalcy hadn't just been brutalised, I would classify as uncomfortable.
Hi.
That being said, I've gotten it completely wrong so far, so maybe this is charming. She's smiling, at least.
Nice to finally meet
So I'll call you.
Miranda does me an incredible favour by reintroducing a sense of normalcy to this episode. This takes the form of apologising profusely when she kicks a man in the face. This low-calorie Elon's name is Ted, and he's a doctor with an apartment overlooking the Natural History Museum. These seemingly irrelevant tidbits courtesy of narrator Carrie. Most importantly for Miranda though, he doesn't mind getting kicked in the face. For future reference, there are also arbitrary rules about how soon you can organise a date with someone you've just met, as discussed here with Carrie and Miranda surveying the site of the Battle for Wilson's Creek.
When I got home, he wants to go out this week.
Hey, that's fantastic.
No, it's too quick. I think maybe that kick in his head scrambled his brains.
No, too.
Apparently this scene was so bleak to shoot that the production team decided to scour any mention of autumn from the canon completely. Carrie wonders why Mike didn't want to bring his date to a screeching halt to introduce her, as she helps Mike pick out some sheets. Obviously they try them in the store, they're not animals. Are we sure these two haven't slept together? They're cuddled up together, they're buying sheets. He's telling her his deepest, darkest secrets. This is all a bit intimate, isn't it? Mike reveals that he's ashamed of his date, a woman who mumbles her own name so badly that almost immediately Sarah Jessica Parker has to reintroduce her.
Libby Bialik. Her name was Libby Bialik.
Well, she's just not the one I see myself with.
Why not? It was about 3 months ago.
In this flashback, Mike gets over being dumped by being fed cheese straight from the knife from an off-puttingly enthusiastic Libby. Despite her disregard for food safety, Mike doesn't care to imagine what this cavalier attitude might imply about sexual health, and the two immediately hook up. In the book, Libby is a Harvard-graduated documentarian, which I bring up for no reason at all, because this show would never engage in any sort of classism, now would it?
He was 32 years old, a sports medicine doctor with an apartment overlooking the Natural History Museum. How many of us out there are having great sex with people we're ashamed to introduce to our friends?
Well, there's your premise. I hope you're happy. Samantha is the first person we talk to about this, despite already having confirmed this in the opening scene of the episode.
You can have good sex with someone you don't like or respect.
Samantha says she hasn't slept with anyone she's ashamed of, which in one sense is admirable, but in the other sense we've met some of the people she slept with, so maybe she needs to explain that a bit.
I met this gorgeous kid in Spy Bar last year.
He turned out to be in high school.
Samantha helps Carrie pin an ad directly to the drywall, which I'm sure is covered by the bond.
Shouldn't be embarrassed.
It is a bit embarrassing. Between the two of you, you can barely hang up a poster. Apparently, Mr. Big hasn't been in contact with Carrie since their excruciatingly awkward date. This isn't seen as the mercy that it probably should be. Things are looking up though. There are plans to get drunk and watch a bus drive past. Plus, they've put up the poster. It's all coming up Carrie. Samantha and Carrie go down to Charlotte's work, not just to interrupt her making a living, but also to accuse her of being embarrassed of having slept with a rabbi, which, out of context, is maybe problematic. After a bit of research, this does seem to be vaguely permissible. Rabbis aren't expected to be celibate, although there is an emphasis on marriage. If we're talking about Charlotte being ashamed because he is by definition Jewish, then that is a bris too far.
Anyway, he wasn't a rabbi. He was a Hasidic folk artist from Brooklyn.
Close enough.
Oh, never mind. He's a Hasidic folk artist from Brooklyn. Charlotte's off the hook. Turns out Samantha is the anti-Semitic one. I'm as surprised as you are. I thought it would be Charlotte too. In another flashback, Charlotte offends one painter on her way to see another.
Evidently, Charlotte had seen Shmuel's work in an exhibition and scheduled an appointment to meet him at his studio. Evidently, Charlotte had seen Shmuel's work in an exhibition and scheduled an appointment to meet him at his studio.
That's the face of someone having fun. Charlotte also lists 3 things that drive women crazy: strangeness, talent, and the smell of wool. Coincidentally, it is implied that Charlotte's here on a work trip to secure some paintings for her gallery. Okay, now that we're learning that this has been in a professional capacity, maybe this is a bit problematic after all.
What if you sense that someone is giving you a professional advantage because they find you charming?
Charming.
Between this and Vincent Van Gina, I'm beginning to raise an eyebrow about Charlotte's professional success. Given last episode, I'd hate to have an accusation of hypocrisy mar this otherwise serviceable time.
Every means at their disposal to achieve power.
Short of sleeping their way to the top.
Not if that's what it takes to compete.
But that's exploitation.
Charlotte makes Carrie promise not to put this story in her column, to which she agrees. Luckily, it's not undermined by any editing choice at all. Mr. Big gives Carrie a taste of her own medicine by interrupting her while she's at work. He also says he remembers her and can't stop thinking about her. He's calling Carrie to ask her out to a good old dinner and movie sort of situation. The actual date, of course, is in broad daylight and seemingly nowhere near a movie theatre. So when Mr. Big said dinner, he meant a walk, and when he said a movie, he meant a nothing. We have a brief Seinfeld moment as Carrie explains how advertising works.
Let me get this straight. Your picture is going to be on a bus.
That's right.
A crosstown bus or a downtown bus?
Carrie is about to display some real growth by actively asking for what she wants when she's interrupted by one of Mr. Big's friends. Given the themes of this episode, if I had to guess, I'd say that this man is ashamed to be standing next to this normal-looking woman.
Hey, see it.
You remember Phyllis?
Of course, Phyllis. How are you?
Oh, swing and a miss. That's Doris. How do I not know who Doris is in this day and age? Doris?
That's what I hear. So, good to see you.
Oh, Carrie got the snub. Oh, I can't believe we thought that she was on Doris's level. Carrie can't help but wonder if Mr. Big is ashamed of her. They're back at the Chinese restaurant from earlier, which is apparently where people go to date the dregs of society in private.
Was it possible that I had become Mr. Big's secret sex girl?
It's entirely possible you're his secret sex girl. I guess we're just agreeing with each other today. We cross to Miranda, who, having spent the night with Elon Hunk, feigns agreeability while he leaves for a business trip so she can sleep in. Unbeknownst to him, she's actually lying in wait so she can trash his house looking for evidence of past girlfriends. Cool and normal. What this would accomplish or what information this would bear relevant to her is never explained or challenged, so we can only assume the best while she rifles through this poor man's sock drawer, looking for pictures. That leopard print chair is a choice. Not finding any family photos, she does however find a fetish video, which she takes with her and shows to an unintroduced third party, along with some identifying details. Cool and normal. And she also knows how to kick you in the face. What a catch. There's something about Carrie that makes people show her their dubiously sourced pornography, isn't there? Later that day, the cream of New York have gathered to watch the maiden voyage of Carrie's bus.
Later that day, the cream of New York gathered to toast the maiden voyage of my bus.
Oh, wait, she already said that too. Oh God, am I becoming Carrie? Oh God, I even switched tenses. Oh God. It's cute they're wearing party hats though. It's nice when it's nice. Mr. Big can't make it, however, devastating everyone, because this would have otherwise been a perfect opportunity to meet, wearing stupid hats in the gutter while they get drunk watching the buses go past. If this is how they pour champagne, it's even worse that they didn't use the ice bucket. Charlotte's too polite to point out that she thinks Mr. Big's absence is because he and Carrie slept together too soon. Carrie's not wearing this party hat for nothing though. There's going to be an argument. Also worth mentioning, at this point in history, public consumption of alcohol has been illegal in New York for about 19 years. At least they're using glassware, so it's classy. Bed Bath & Beyond gets a product placement, hi Ruthie,
While I helped him pick out sheets at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, shit.
as Mark shows up sans Libby. Because she dumped him, which is great, because if we're being honest, Mike was pretty blatantly using Libby. Hey, now it's a party. Despite the cosy gutter atmosphere, the party sours when the gang realises that not even public transport is safe from the clutches of the working class. Carrie's ad has almost immediately been enhanced with a penile graffito. It's a testament to New York. This is the ad's maiden voyage. I mean, not maiden in multiple senses now, but still, quick turnaround. Meanwhile, Miranda's out with Ted again, who's apparently paid for her meal.
You can buy me dinner sometime.
That was one of the most amazing meals I have ever had. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Miranda, you kicked him in the face, and even if he doesn't know about the privacy thing, you could still buy him a meal. Jesus Christ. Miranda, obviously in a good mood, has decided to internally process her snooping and has come to the conclusion that equating sexuality with morality would be hypocritical of her. Sure, this guy might have atypical tastes, but he's not hurting anyone, and he's worth dating on merit of his character alone. Hell, maybe even Miranda gets used to the idea and has fun exploring it with someone. Maybe even that person could be Ted. Miranda, however, forgets that this is her internal monologue, and that she's only said that last part out loud.
It was a good spanking.
Excuse me?
Leading Ted to correctly assume that she's gone through his stuff and finds his privacy to be a non-issue. His last word to her is, "Oh," before walking away and never seeing her again. He even switches gyms. Good for you, Ted. And hey, good for you, Libby. They're getting out of here. This episode has some survivors. Miranda even has the gall to do this little shrug thing, like she doesn't know exactly what's just happened. All these toxic bachelors. Carrie is putting those entrenched public intoxication laws to good use, because the next time we see her, she's champagne drunk and barging down Mr. Big's door for a fight. Notice how Carrie here, even in her drunken state, does check the label of the vodka. Hi, Ruthie. Not just anything will do, especially if you're a hot mess reclaiming your power. That's right, Parker. Label facing forward. Carrie presents the evidence to the accused, and despite having seemingly just woken up, miraculously withstands the onslaught. Turns out there's a reasonable explanation for all of this. Carrie wasn't introduced to Mr. Big's friend because he forgot his name, he likes Chinese food, and he couldn't make it today because he had other plans. At least Carrie showed up drunk and uninvited, the humiliation of which should make being alone a lot easier to swallow. Oh wait, no, he doesn't care about any of that. Or at least cares enough to give a non-committal answer. The musical spanking motif will play us out for this one. That was an experience. Samantha ended up being pretty reasonable, despite a mild anti-Semitic mix-up. I find it hard to believe that there isn't one person she regrets sleeping with, but if true, good for her. I mean, we've watched her sleep with at least one weirdo, but power to her, I guess. Charlotte narrowly dodged some anti-Semitism, but did land herself in some hot water with an on-the-job hookup. It's not ever clear if Charlotte is directly benefiting from all of this. The show doesn't tell us what happened to the art, but on the heels of last time, it does seem fraught. I'm not saying this is the worst thing in the world, but it does seem a bit hypocritical. Charlotte spent last episode explaining in detail how she feels about these things. Carrie, as her namesake implies, carried this idiot plot from start to finish, with all the main conflict being internal to her thoughts. In less reactionary hands, this wouldn't have been an episode at all, but she does get drunk and belligerently shows up at someone's place uninvited, so that's something. Of course, no one but Miranda could take the wooden spoon for this one. There's something unnerving about pretending to be agreeable just to turn on a dime when someone's back is turned. Going through someone's stuff, taking what private things are found to an unintroduced third party is pretty egregious. How did he not know that tape was missing? Did she return it somehow? Tell me there wasn't a locksmith involved. That would be crossing a line. More. Well, let me know in the comments how you feel about my wall-mounted A.